Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hateful Eight Radio. I am your host, Dylan Lamp, and today I am joined by, coming back from his hiatus, Brandon Berger. How you doing, Brandon?
Oh, we're so back, baby. We're ready to talk some ball. That's for damn sure.
Hey, I love to hear it. All right, along with Brandon, I'm also joined by owner of Where's the Lamb Sauce, Mick Hoyle. Coming off of a rough football weekend, how's the locker room holding up, Mick?
A rough football weekend, but you want to know what? The Yankees have just beaten the White Sox 3-2 and have officially clinched a playoff appearance. So I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Only a Yankees fan
Right.
would talk about a White Sox win, but I guess that's Mick for you.
The playoffs.
No, I respect it. Love the playoff clinch. A win's a win.
The Rockies didn't even sniff the playoffs by about 50 games.
we were out of playoff contention by I don't even know late summer. But yeah, that's the Rockies for you. Go Rockies. And joining us, a special guest, last but certainly not least, we have our first guest of the show, John Aslanis of the Numbers Game. Glad to have you on the show, John.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with the other owners. And I can't wait to make the important announcements that the number games have to share today to the fans in the stadium.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll just let you get right into it. I'd love to hear these statements.
Yeah. Again, this was looked over by some of the PR team just to make sure we didn't say anything overtly offensive.
We dropping slams.
As I wouldn't go that far. Don't worry. In the first draft, they were there, but I guess I wanted to say and start this out as the owner of the Numbers Game. That obviously this is a competitive league.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only undefeated member left is First Down Syndrome, and let's be real. He doesn't say anything in the group chat. It's all dumb luck. But again, seeing us fight for all these points, seeing us make these incredible defensive switch ups where we're switching our defenses every week, and somehow having our bench scores 50. It just shows we have some commitment game and some certain knowledge about the league. But I guess the specific thing I wanted to say here was I feel like, or at least the team
Spit it out already.
Have noticed that, especially on this podcast, there's been some serious slander to one of the oldest founding teams of the league here, Numbers Game. I think it was just last week where okay, we're still the oldest team of the league. We're still the oldest team of the league. I mean, not to quote our lovely host here, Dylan, but I believe it was before week 2 on this podcast where he said, why, and pardon my French, the fuck is the Numbers Game predicted to get 150 points? And then my two hosts here.
Did you score 150 points?
Yes, I did, bitch.
Oh, fuck. That's on me. My bad.
Brandon and Mick here also started handing on Montgomery, and we'll get into this week. But I've just noticed a lack of respect towards the Numbers Game, and I just really wanted to throw that out here. We scored 150 points easily. We're 2-1. That's a better record than 2 of the 3 hosts here. And so I just wanted to get a formal apology and a formal response from my hosts and see what they had to say for themselves.
Fuck no. Bro, I No, Mike, by all means, go ahead.
No. A formal apology is certainly something. Hey, I will give respect, John. We'll talk about our game in a little bit. But
yeah, I mean, we're not gonna bounce
going for you this year. But I'm never gonna give a formal apology.
Oh, 100%. We don't bow the knee.
Your team sucks.
Truth nuke.
Oh, really? How's the lamb sauce taste now?
Do we want to start talking about our matchup now?
Yeah,
no.
I think you do. You guys are
Are we
perfectly
going
segued.
off of the
Yeah,
You know what? Yeah, fuck
Going
yeah.
off script.
script here?
Going
yeah,
off script.
A little pivot. We can talk about our matchup.
yeah, no, yeah.
Sean, you won because my defense put up 2 points. The dude that I picked first overall made 1 catch and then like broke his ankle. And then the other dude also broke his ankle after literally getting 0.00 points.
I guess I would feel bad for you if it wasn't all in the numbers. You know, if you had just
It's a really good answer, John. It's a really great answer to
it's a
all of
great
the
answer.
questions that you're confronted with about your
It is a
fantasy
great
team.
answer. Listen, I understand that there's some
Oh my God, Mick, I'm so
resentment
sorry.
here
And this
being
matchup.
the first overall person being able
Hey,
to.
John, do you still want to
select.
keep Jamar Chase?
Yeah, I'm keeping him for now. He's some
Yeah.
peaks, but you know he got more points than
Yeah.
CD Lamb, so it's a pretty good week for him, I'd say.
That's all right.
Dude, I mean, I don't know. You're not getting 30 points ever again from David Montgomery. I hope you know that.
Well,
Let's
you know,
let's
if
keep
you
in
look at
mind,
his
John
previous,
drafted GT second overall, right?
yeah, second overall.
He
He
No,
was a Gene 2 believer, bro. I'm dead.
that is certainly something I'll regret for later. But you know, if we're talking about Montgomery's performance here, dropping a near 30 bomb for my team, let's take a look at what he did in 2024. He averaged about 13 to 14 points a game. In his last couple of games, he was out on injury. So even with this, he's still an all-around well-to-do player.
Oh,
And
actually,
what's
can I insert here? I actually have some personal insight on his 2024 season.
Well, I would love to
Yes,
hear it.
feel free.
Here's one thing about David Montgomery that I noticed last season is anytime I needed him to score points, he didn't. And then he got injured at the end of the season, and I got bounced in the playoffs. So I think David Montgomery, maybe he's getting coached up by John or something, but there's a reason I was not believing in this fucking bum. And let's just say a couple, I was watching the game last night. It was a good game, but some of those were some garbage time yards and touchdowns there. So
Truth.
that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah.
I think
John, that was more than double the other 2 games he's, gotten this year.
Yeah. Again, you can't expect your all-stars to show at every game. Sometimes they need to save up for those big moments. I talked with Montgomery before.
Flex player.
Yeah, of course.
The other flex player was Wandale Robinson.
How'd that go for you?
Wandale, we had some disappointments there.
He had 4 targets.
Yeah, and
He caught one of them.
And I think 2 of those were interceptions.
yeah.
Moonball.
He got 26 yards. That's not a laughable sum. That's decent enough. But if you look at my bench and who else you considered putting in, it was a fair trade. We still cinched out the win, so he did exactly what we needed in that moment. And so I have only love and respect for my players, even when they have a bad predictions for the week. I think it's important not to shame them. I think that's the difference of what makes the numbers special, is that we have such a positive team atmosphere. And so I really think, just talking to you now, I'm sure your players don't like you. You have this snarky attitude, attacking
Keep it
people on
civil.
my
Keep it
roster.
civil.
You don't like
You
me.
know.
Keep it out of my locker room, John. You don't know what happens in my locker room.
All right, I'm gonna
Yeah,
separate y'all
that's
before
fine.
you get
Yeah,
ejected
yeah.
from the game.
Yeah, thanks, House.
I'm giving
yeah.
you both text and we're done with
Keep
this.
our
All right.
guests at bay.
Quickly, I did want to say.
one more thing.
Oh, all right, fine, John. Say your last piece.
This is my last statement. Sorry, I wanted to say something to Have KD and Enzo. I know he's listening in on the pod now. I just want to say you're still my bitch. I'm still your Achilles heel. You lost to me. You fucking suck. And yeah, go Jets. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. That was a great segment.
Yeah, no, those were some fighting words coming from a numbers game. I did want to say real quick. This is something I noticed. we were talking about Ashton and GT there for a little, and we were punching down. I do want to say that, and I think we would all agree, except I don't know if John has the ball knowledge, but what you call it, GT the man and GT the fantasy player are much different. Like I've been seeing things where like people are saying that he's not like the generational talent that people thought he was coming like out of the draft, but like something I saw recently was that he is currently last in yards before contact. So basically, like contact is being initiated early, and but he is first in broken tackles and third in elusive rating. I think for PFF, their elusive rating, and so I just like he's simply just like most running backs or a lot of good running backs are simply just like wasting away behind a dog shit offensive line on the Raiders, but. That's just my opinion. I don't know if Mick, Brandon, or John, if you have any thoughts.
It's not. I mean, it's not controversial. I mean, everyone knows that GT is like a great player, but like the Ravens are like complete fucking dog shit. Like, if GT was on like the Eagles, for example, or any of like the marquee like premier teams in the league, like if he was on like the Bills, different story. But unfortunately, he is on the Raiders, and until they invest in their O line and get a new coach, they are cooked.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to end off that wonderful segment. We're gonna move on. We're gonna go into a little segment I'm calling "Reasons to Believe," and
Oh yeah,
and something that I thought everyone was gonna come out of this week with at least a win and no one being undefeated. I mean, Audie somehow came back and is the only undefeated person in the league right now. But something I noticed while I was watching the NFL games this week and the fantasy games is it really felt like we were in the thick of it, right? Like for week 1 and week 2, it's like you're sort of figuring shit out, like everyone's not playing well except the Colts. Like at least not playing up to their potential. But I feel like it just really felt like we're starting the beginning of the middle of the season. We're in the trenches. Shit's getting serious. And I feel the same way about the Hateful Eight. And so I just wanted to go team by team and talk about as we get towards the middle of the season, just bring up reasons for you to believe that you have the chance to go all the way. I think it's very easy to just sit there and you're me and Brandon and you're sitting at 1 and 2. You're Enzo, Will, Alex. All we're sitting at 1 and 2, and we're like, fuck, bro. I don't know if we got what it takes, but I want to point out what everyone's strengths is, and maybe we'll touch on where people can improve. So I think I'll let Brandon go. Just pick a team, whatever you're feeling, and we'll just get right into it.
Yeah. I took some pretty careful notes on this. So I think what we should do is go by worst team to best team probably. So I guess we would start with Will, um, in this case, and then go up to Dylan, and then jump to Carson, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just go through each team. I'll keep track of who
Right.
we hit.
Okay. So in that case, we'll start with Will. I took notes for all the teams, so I guess I can kind of head up the discussion. But
Mm-hmm.
I think Will, Love and Thielen. I think despite the record, like this is still a team that can win some games. I said I think really it comes down to Brees Hall needs to kind of get back to the form he was last year. He had last week he had 9 points, which like isn't horrible, but I think he's kind of a linchpin player on this team, especially if you kind of look down the roster here. So Will definitely needs Brees Hall to kind of come back and be that player he needs to be. And maybe once they kind of settle into the season and get their quarterback situation figured out, that might be a place that they can lean on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I think that the other move that Will needs to think about is maybe I think he either needs to roll with Krosowski Merritt or he needs to trade for another flex piece, just because like once you get to that bottom part of his roster, like it is not good. It's like is the dog days. So I think um, if he can find a way to, maybe like Keon Coleman plus JKR, or maybe he gambles on Michael Pittman. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
But I
I
just
think
think shoring up that flex spot is how he's going to come
for
back.
sure. I think that'll definitely be a recurring thing that we see throughout the teams. It's really important, as you go through the season to make sure you're continuing to refresh your depth. And I think honestly, like if Will, decides to set his roster and doesn't start Evan Ingram, I mean, like Travis Etienne now this week, I think I'm a little surprised about Lad McConkey not having the best couple of games, but I guess Keenan Allen is the wide receiver one. It's just a little ball knowledge play by me, but we'll get to me. But yeah, no. I mean, anyone else have any thoughts on Will?
I was gonna touch
Yeah.
on
You
my
go
bad,
first.
John. I was gonna say, yeah, I was just gonna touch on Bill. I think we saw kind of this interesting game against the Raiders where uh the running backs were really, or the commanders were going really like running back by committee. Uh I think like, Bill got a touchdown, and then like Nichols got a touchdown, Jeremy Nichols got a touchdown in 2025. Like that's insane.
I
Uh
saw that.
they were like, and Chris Rodriguez was getting touches. I think when it's going to come down to an important game, I think Bill is going to be the guy that they lean on, which I think will eventually lead to him getting more than 10 fantasy points. And also, uh, I think Michael Pittman, has two really good games. The Colts look good. Daniel Jones looks good. I see no reason why he wouldn't still be good going forward.
All right, sounds good to me. We'll move on to a different team real quick. Again, Brandon, you got the notes, but why don't you just pick one of us to speak on a team real quick? So someone that you think is intriguing.
I think that Enzo's team would be interesting to talk about. I think there's a couple of storylines there that we might want to touch on.
All right, I mean, I'm glad or I'm happy to take the reins real quick. I think reasons to believe is already, even though JD5 is out, JD5 top elite quarterback still. He's not seeming to have, besides that Packers game. I mean, Packers are just a really high powered defense. He does not seem to be having that sophomore slump that you'd be worried about with a quarterback. And then you look to Emeka Buko, which was a great late round pickup. I guess like Omari and Hampton was like slicing Najee Harris's like Achilles in the locker room because he is now the seemingly going to be the lead back in LA for the Chargers. So there are just a lot of really good pieces here. Mick, if you do want to like touch on maybe some of the worry spots that you have on this team.
I mean, Giants are such a volatile team, aren't they?
Yeah.
That you're gonna see a week where you get 3 points from Malik Neighbors because the Giants just can't make anything happen on offense. Kind of think, that's a good player. Has potential to be upgraded. Emeka Buka seems like the real deal, but maybe wide receiver's a spot that Enzo looks to kind of solidify going forward.
For sure, sounds good to me. Moving on, I think we'll touch on probably, in my opinion, the most volatile team in the league. We're gonna talk about Josh Dobbs Skinwalker. I mean, wow, I don't even truly know where to begin. But like obviously going in, we talked about his draft, which was each pick more dumbfounding than the last. Um, but I mean, the weeks before, it seemed like his flex was not like shored up to like what you would want it to be. It seems a little volatile, and I think it still is. I think they just had a really good week. But I mean, obviously, again, we're talking about elite QB. You'll love to see it. Jonathan Taylor, I mean, looking to be RB1. But John, I mean, if you want to look at the numbers real quick, what did you see any? What are the positives and
Yeah.
then quick positive,
I
quick
was
negative?
I was seeing some in terms of a positive, it really seems like the coordination on Alex's team is very impressive in terms of who he's putting on his choosing to put in for the week. Because it almost seems like he has almost a way that the numbers are speaking to him. And the way I say that is that when one person on his team decides to perform, almost everybody on his team also chooses to perform. Now, Zay Flowers, basically the only bad pick, I would say, that he could have maybe considered benching. But otherwise, I really think, as you said, Alec has a lot of almost versatility in terms of what his team can do. They can either score really high, really low. I think it's ultimately going to come down to him as a coach and what he can do to convince his team to keep performing at that level.
A really quick thing for Alec. Congratulations on now being the new record holder for most points scored in the Hateful Eight 10-team league at 171, basically.
True, it was crazy. At one point, he was if Zay had like a standard game, he was projected to get like 190 points at one point.
Yeah,
It was
35
dumbfounding.
points from the Vikings defense. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Enzo here, I mean, he didn't have his best week, but like when the opposing team's defense puts up 35 points, there's not much you can do to that. So, well done on the week 3 win, Alec. Moving on, I'll let Brandon pick a team that he's particularly interested in.
Yeah, let's talk about Alex's team. I wanted to say that again, I believe Alex is currently ranked as the 9th team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you look on paper, like this is not like a 9th of the team looking roster. You've got Justin Herbert, who's like playing his mind out right now. James Cook, is like if James Cook basically Alex's win condition is James Cook continues doing what he's doing consistently or semi-consistently for the rest of the season, and the Vikings figure out their quarterback situation. I mean, for me, that's really it. I mean, obviously, like with him again, he's kind of got that uncertainty at the flex position, but that's like half the teams in the league.
For sure.
Again, I think as long as he keeps Cook going the way he's going. If Jay Jettis can get a real quarterback, sorry, McCarthy truthers, but I watched that Natty 2 years ago. He's not that good. I mean, that's really all I have to say about that. I think Alex's team has a lot of high upside, and I think he's just kind of reliant on a couple teams making a couple good decisions and figuring things out. And this is someone you could definitely see kind of being a sneaky playoff pick. That's my take on it.
I think at this point, he should be looking to put in Quentin Johnston, who had his lowest points out of these 3 weeks, and that was 15 points. I think that could provide a bit of stability to Alex's team moving forward.
All right. I think moving on, I want to touch on Audie's team. Brandon brought up the idea of win conditions. It seems like Audie's win condition, it will really what it is that Lamar and Puka seemingly are gonna ball out each and every single week. So if like his flex and his like RB like 1 and 2 and can like put up even like respectable numbers, it seems like he's gonna win because if Puka and Lamar keep doing what they're doing, like I don't see anyone stopping like that formula.
Yeah, my notes for Audie was set your roster, and he has the best wide receiver room in the league. Like he can basically just hands off for the rest of the year, even on his bye weeks. He's still probably gonna finish like 13-4 or whatever. Like his team is that good.
Yeah.
Mark
like,
Andrews scored 1 point in the first 2 weeks and then scored 27 this week.
Yeah, that was something else.
I mean,
Sitting on his bench.
First down syndrome, aka tight end nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
mean-
think if you're Audie, truly the only thing you could do is maybe get rid of the players that are currently hurt or suspended off of your roster and pick up someone else. And I mean, maybe he truly can wait, and then Jordan Addison will come back, and Jordan Addison will put up 30 points a game. And I don't know ball, but like I that's the only thing I can think to say about Audie's team.
You know what he should do is see if he can strike a deal with Will, give him Mark Andrews, and try to get a better fucking running back, because his running back room is complete dog
Is
shit.
top.
Mark Andrews instantly becoming a valuable trade piece. I want to swing it over actually to Carson, who was Audie's opponent this week, who put up 151 and has put up some really good numbers to start the season.
Yeah, he's
Despite
got the
the
Alex curse, bro.
yeah, despite the 1-2 record. And I think Carson's team has a lot of good players who are capable of putting up these types of performances consistently, especially now with Cam Scatterbo, who seems to have taken the running back one job, and Tyrone Tracy's hurt anyways, so it's clearly Scatterbo, at least for the next couple of weeks. That's just another piece for him to use, and I think if things just if he keeps putting up these performances, the results should come.
Yeah, no, for sure. I couldn't agree more. John, have any thoughts on Carson's team?
Yeah, I really feel with Carson that, again, as the numbers guy, the numbers just don't add up. I would never have expected with his team that he would be performing the way he's doing. And there's absolutely nothing I feel like he's doing wrong. He's just being really put against these hard matchups. The only thing that I could think of is I would really love to see more heart and more passion put into the league.
Couldn't agree more. Can we get Carson a little more active in the GC? I was seeing him today, but I mean, he's always a nice familiar face when he's there. You know.
Hey, shout out Carson. I watched the Commanders game with him this past weekend.
That is tough.
Hey.
I was locked in and expect a pod appearance soon.
All
I'm looking forward to that.
right, Brandon, who do we have left?
We have the people who are currently on the podcast.
The pod, do we all
and-
want to briefly?
Yeah, we can all just touch on our
Our
own
teams?
teams. Yeah.
All right, yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Well, John, I'll let you speak truth to power about the numbers game.
Yeah. So again, we're prioritizing the statistics and analytics over everything. Again, of course, there's always going to be some confounding variables. That's just how it is in a sport like this. If there's, weather changes, if somebody gets injured, like last week, things can either go really well for you, really. But I think if there's one thing that the numbers game has that I don't think I'm witnessing in a lot of the other leagues, it's not only a love for the game and a love for their own team, but also a lot of communication between the other owners. I think it was.
I was gonna
just
say.
last-
I thought you were gonna say when you said things that other teams don't have is. I thought you were gonna go with high draft picks that are underperforming, but that's just my opinion.
Of course, yes. They're GT. I'm still looking for somebody. If anybody wants to trade with GT, I'm not gonna lie.
I'll give you T Higgins 1-for-1, then they can both ride our benches.
T Higgins got you 2.5 points last week. I don't want him. And
I don't want GT either, buddy. So you can keep him.
yeah.
Successful trade on the pod.
Successful trade. I just think I've been on negotiations. Me and Brandon last week, we went through about 6 different trade offers, and while we couldn't agree, we felt something there. I've been on the phone twice with Will now, trying to trade him Montgomery for Breece Hall, actually. Thank God that didn't fucking happen. But I was certainly considering it. And so, again, I think the numbers game, obviously, they're always looking for an edge, and they're open to change. And I think that is the big thing that's going to get them that ring and get them.
All right. Well, moving on. I'll have Mick quickly speak about where's the lamb sauce.
Yeah, listen, we took a hard hit this week with the loss of our captain and CD Lamb.
Yeah.
Sounds like there's a
Quickly
big
talk about. Do you have the when well, James is out for the year, I believe.
yeah,
But when is
heartbreaking.
CD? I've heard mixed things about when CD is expected to be back.
Yeah. There's the whole thing is right now is whether he's gonna go on IR or not. I think it's still up in the air. If he goes on IR, it's definitely 4 weeks. If it's not a guaranteed 4 weeks, it sounds pretty close to 4 weeks. So we'll be missing him. I hate the Dallas Cowboys, but that's my fantasy captain, baby. But luckily, this is a key part of my strategy. I've been hurt by injuries too much. We've got two guys ready to step in George Pickens and Kenneth Walker, who are going to slot right into that starting lineup. We got Brock Bowers, who was injured, questionable coming into this week. Had an all right week. I think he's going to be healthy coming into this week. And we've got just two absolute studs at quarterback that I can just trust to put up good numbers every week. So I think we're gonna bounce back after this week and maintain the good form.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think you got a really well built team that I think is built to withstand these kind of injuries. So good team building there for you,
We're strong, and we don't change our name after our player gets hurt.
John. All right. So moving on, I'll quickly touch on my team, and then we'll leave Mega Quan Barkley there for last. Going to my team, I mean, I think Kyron Williams and picking up um what you call it? Sorry, I'm tripping balls. Keenan Allen off that trade with Mick are two big players on my team. Then you quickly go to flex, which I could not be more happy with how Devontae Adams has played for me in the flex. 22 points in week 2, 14 in week 3. That's just very solid flex numbers, if you ask me. And then obviously JSN, which in our draft episode we got a lot of question marks surrounding JSN, but Sam Darnold has shown he's the truth, and JSN is I think averaging 19 points, which is much more than I could have asked for. So I think, I mean, I don't know if anyone's looked at my week 4 starters, but I've decided to bench to bench BTJ. We gotta me and him. We're gonna have some talks. We're gonna hit the jug machine.
That is just a tough one for the locker room to take.
Yeah, it is, and at the end of the day, I think we're not gonna let politics affect the way we start our team. Who's performing is gonna be out there on the field, and I still hold 100% hold my faith in BTJ, but until he shows that he can perform up to expectations, he is going to have to ride the bench. So moving on, we got if Brandon could speak quickly, I don't know if he is with us because he's currently muted, but if you could talk real quick about Magaquan.
Yeah, sorry, my girlfriend just walked in, so chit chatting. Don't worry, I was listening. Yeah, I'll I'll go over my team. Yeah, not to reveal my hand too much. It's like funny that I like what's so hard on my like receivers during the draft, because now I'm basically getting carried by my running backs, because what's his name got injured, so now Jordan Mason is like the main guy in Minnesota, which like totally bailed me out this week, because my team is like spiraling out of control. Yeah, I don't really want to reveal my hand too much here, but there's definitely some moves I want to make. Mike Evans just went down, so it's just another fire to put out on my team. But I have faith that the boys will pull through and we'll start playing up to our potential here. Also, I'm going to bench that bum Kyler Murray, and hope Jared Goff gets his bit together. Also,
The goofball.
future running back 1, My glorious king.
Oh my gosh, I got
Touchdowns in
so
back-to-back games.
excited when he scored.
Dude, I was
Right.
I have a TV in my room down at JMU, and I was just jumping up and down in excitement when Baishal Tootin scored that tutty. So yeah, well, I think that's a great place to end it off. I hope everyone comes out of that segment feeling a little more hopeful, feeling grateful for the league and for their team, and having high
Pretty exciting.
expectations.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
we got a super big group of competitive teams this year. I think hey, shout out the expansion. Shout out Will and Alec. I think you've made this overall more competitive league.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, so moving on, it's gonna get a little more solemn here. I expect that I'm gonna talk for a little because I expect Mick is not gonna have much to say about this segment. But it's our weekly Giants check-in. Obviously, pretty pitiful performance against the Chiefs. In Sunday Night Football on national television. And so we're seeing a lot of changes over at the Giants facilities, specifically with Jackson Dart. But I just want to talk quickly about the game, in that I didn't get to see last week's game, and I was talking to I was getting secondhand information from Mick, but holy Christ, like it was like dumbfounding to me the how archaic both the offense and the defense looked. Like there were, and I can't talk. My ball knowledge starts to fall off when it comes to the more technical stuff. But yeah, but when you're seeing, like, I just, like, the stuff that you see on high powered defenses and offenses, I was not seeing in on like for Giants football at all. And like it gets me so upset because now we're getting the Jackson Dart's gonna start week 4. And in my humble opinion, Mick, you can give me your thoughts on this, but I think the worst outcome for the Giants is if Jackson Dart actually has a good game, because then that's going to give John Mara's, the Giants owner, his dumb ass an excuse to fucking keep Dable around and keep the fucking coordinators around. When I have lost, like, after watching that one game, like, the receivers weren't getting open. The seemingly high powered defense that we thought was gonna, like, shut down opposing offenses was looking like lackluster. And so if fucking Jackson Dart can go out there and have a good game and give the owner a reason to believe, I think that's genuinely the worst outcome. But Mick, you can give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I've got a couple of like mixed opinions on just the state of the Giants. Overall things are pretty negative, but I'll keep things pretty short and sweet. Look, it's like this game was bad, Dylan, you touched on it. When it comes to the offense and the defense, I also do not know the technical terms very well, but a few things that I saw, the offense just, like you're saying, the play calling seems so archaic, so predictable. It feels like it feels like the defenses know what's coming every single time we snap the ball. We have no time to get any of our plays off. And our concept of like, oh, let's make something happen is just, hey, Russell Wilson, go try and just throw the ball as far as you can. And it led to what? 2 interceptions, 3 interceptions? I think it was 2 interceptions. Uh, just like that's not an offense. That's not a strategy. Not certainly one I want from my football team. And we talked last weekend about the you know cancer that is Shane Bowen. It's so bad. Our defense is miserable. Talked about it again last week. How you're getting teams are running straight through the middle of our defense, getting completely untouched. Our linebacker core is weak. Our front guys that should be playing well just aren't, with the exception of our edges are playing well. Thibodeau and Burns having great seasons. Dexter Lawrence is invisible, and Roy Robertson Harris, I guess, is just bad at football. And
Jags
we'll
legend,
see what
baby.
happens. Jags legend. We'll see what happens going forward. I have no faith. As much as I like Jackson Dart, I think it's very interesting that you say that the worst thing that could happen is Dart has a good game. I think the worst thing that could happen is Jackson Dart has a horrific game. Like, he looks completely unprepared, doesn't look like a real NFL player, doesn't show flashes. Uh, Even behind a subpar team, we don't see anything that's exciting to look forward to because right now Jackson Dart is like our last hope. As much as we can blame the coordinators and stuff, and as much as I want that fixed, I think uh, we really need to see Jackson Dart give us something. Just show us that he is a quarterback that can play in the NFL.
Yeah, no, for sure.
uh, just a different thing. But yeah, so that's just like my thoughts. Also, I don't know if you guys heard the news, but Giants' latest kicker, Young Hui Koo,
Yes,
is
sir.
gonna lead us to the promised land. That's my thought.
Wait, he's on the Giants now?
So
Yeah, bro.
got signed to our practice squad as of like 6 or 7 hours ago.
God.
And yeah, we're excited to have him. He's gonna win the Super Bowl for us. We're going, what is it? How many games are there season? 17. We're going 13-3 or 14-3. Go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue.
Expect him back on my team within the hour.
Amazing. Well, I hope that didn't make that segment didn't make anyone feel too suicidal. But we'll move on. John, I heard you had some.
Sorry, real quick. My bad,
Oh.
real quick.
No, of course.
One final shout out Cam Scadaboo. What an absolute dog.
Dog.
He looks like the real deal. He's my little bowling ball, just an
Yeah, bro.
absolute freak of a human.
Plays
He's
the
not
game it's
scared of
meant to be
contact.
played.
Just runs hard, runs fast. I know it sounds so silly. He runs upfield. That's something I think a lot of running backs don't do nowadays, and
Mhm.
it's so great to see. He just wants to move the ball forward, and I'm so pumped for him. I hope he continues to play well.
All right. Yeah. Well, that was beautiful. So yeah, going into that segment that we were going to talk about, yeah, John, you can lead this. I heard you had some leaked audio or something. I'll let you take it away.
Yeah. So, as you guys know, the Numbers Game is the leading affiliate with Northern Projections, who predicted a sweeping victory for the Hateful North in the basketball game. And while that didn't happen,
Clearly,
it
a
is
reputable source.
yeah, it is clear that a lot of their news and information is usually pretty accurate. And so I received on my desk today a transcription of leaked audio taken from the Magaquan Barkley Hateful Eight team. I want to say that this has been edited in no way and is completely authentic. With the owner, Brandon Burke, here on the pod now, being the primary assailant. We are going to do a read through of this. And before we begin, I just want to say that discretion is advised for those in marginalized communities that might be a little more sensitive to these topics that we're about to broach here. And so, Brandon, if you would take it away, yourself, I will be Saquon Barkley, Mick will be T. Higgins, and Dylan is T. McBride and M. Prater.
Ray McBride and Matt Prater.
For those of you at home, this is a transcription of something I've already said, but I'm going to be saying it again for the podcast.
We couldn't get the audio, so
I was gonna say I thought this was the audio.
No. This is a transcription.
Recreation. Okay.
It's us reading the transcription.
I got it. Okay. I got it. Let me get into character.
Okay. All right.
So, Brandon, when you're ready.
And keep in mind, we all used to be in theater together, so this should be good. You realize what almost happened, right?
I know, sir.
And you realize what's currently happening.
If you would just let me explain.
I'm tired of your bullshit, Saquon. I'm tired of this entire fucking team under week after week. Hell, you're supposed to be some of the best wide receivers and running backs in the league, yet you can barely touch the ball because of Kevin fucking Patullo. We're currently ranked below Alec, for Christ's sakes, and he drafted Zay Flowers first overall.
But I scored 2.5 points for you, sir.
Shut your damn mouth, T. Higgins. I don't even know. I don't even know your first name. At least Antonio is useful this week. Hell, do you guys not see how much bigger this is? How much bigger it is than just ourselves? We're not fighting for a ring, damn it. We're fighting for the whole southeast of America.
Yeah.
Sir, you
Trey McBride and Matt Prater in unison.
sir, you can't say things like that.
Right, boss.
Oh, come on, snowflakes. It's in the fucking name. Magaquam Barkley. We all know how I voted, and we all know how I feel about autism. Fuck SNAP. Fuck Medicaid. All I want is a fucking ring, so go out and get me it. I should have drafted Butker.
And scene. Wow.
Thank you.
John, I'll let take it away. What are your thoughts on what we just heard?
Seeing things like that again, we already have some history with the hateful South and the hateful North. Again, I don't mean to bring up the diversity statistics, but the hateful North is hateful South completely composed of Caucasian members. And so again, to see this after reforms have been made, after we put safety measures in place for our team members and for the community, it's really disheartening. And so I just really want to hear from Brandon and get a response. Is it really true that you voted for Donald J. Trump? And if so, why? And
Can
why
we
don't
go
you
back to talking about football?
Well, we sure can. Yeah, Brandon,
like
say an ending statement for this transcription.
I would just like to say I'm not going to speak to my political affiliations or who I may or may not have voted for in my 2024 presidential election, but I was able to go a little off the official transcription of what was actually said, because of the recent announcement about Tylenol causing autism. So just a little sign of the time. So that happened yesterday. So I thought I'd throw that one in there. But I'd like to keep politics off the airwaves here in our podcast. So
I'm sorry.
Let's get back to ball here.
Yeah, we'll leave the hard hitting journalism for Northern Projections. So moving on after that, what a truly beautiful transcription reading. We'll go and we'll talk about NFL storylines around the league. I thought this week was truly like a lot of crazy stuff was happening as we do see week by week. I wanted to quickly touch on the Colts, who are seemingly firing on all cylinders. In early in the season when most teams are struggling. Mick, since your former quarterback is on the Colts, do you have anything to say about how the Colts are performing?
Like 40. Okay, the Titans aren't very good. Let's make that is awesome. I think the best part about it, and this is the thing that anyone that knows me, I will always say this about Daniel Jones, is I've always said that I thought Daniel Jones was a legitimate, capable, honestly pretty decent NFL QB that was in a really bad system. I think right now he's in a good system with good players, good pieces around him, a good defense. Uh, I think the Colts are just a good team. I think obviously it's. I think a lot of people's biggest question coming into the season was how good is Anthony Richardson going to be? Is Anthony Richardson going to be consistent? And the Colts said, uh, we know the answer, and it's Daniel Jones. And they're 3-0. Yeah, Colts Super Bowl incoming.
True.
Sorry.
Everyone.
Sorry. Colts versus Giants Super Bowl incoming. Which
True,
Giants
true.
fan.
The Giants better pick it up from the fucking mud, bro. What you call it?
Yeah.
14-3. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, that it's in the works. But
Yeah.
yeah, no. Anyone who knows me, Danny Dimes is literally always the truth. So
Mhm.
I can't say I didn't foresee it, but yeah, no. Well, moving on, we're gonna quickly talk about the Browns' upset win against the Packers, who everyone has been looking to the Packers as a top Super Bowl contender, and they lost to easily
The Browns.
the Browns in Cleveland. Um, the Browns showing up for their home team. But yeah, I mean, it goes to which was something that was seemingly like a through line in a lot of these games, a blocked field goal. Um, which we'll talk about, another very important blocked field goal. But the Browns go down. They fucking they block the field goal, and then they drive down the field for a fucking field goal. To win the game against a top Super Bowl contender. I mean, I was genuinely dumbfounded. I remember looking at my ESPN app and being like, "Oh, all right, the Packers are about to kick a field goal. It's over." And then like looking back down on my phone and seeing the Browns had won.
I've been telling y'all for the longest time, Jordan Love is ass. Not a top 10 quarterback, all right?
Bullshit, bro.
I
No, I'm
mean,
a Jordan Love believer.
were it not for the fact that Sam Darnold left the conference or the division this year, he would be a bottom quarterback in his own division. There, I said it. I think Caleb Williams is better than him. Caleb Williams only sucks because he's on the fucking Bears.
Well, no, I'm also all here for Caleb Williams. I mean, I am someone who believes that like it's always the shitty ass head coaches that are running these damn like teams that are putting their like quarterbacks in a bad system, and then like everyone scapegoats the fucking quarterback, because of course that's what the fucking that's what they're gonna fucking do. The head coach is trying to keep his job. Um, but it's always fucking like Danny Dimes gets out of a shitty situation and starts performing well. Like Caleb Williams goes from having one of the worst offensive lines last year, playing like dog shit, um, and then fucking comes back to with Ben Johnson at the helm and like an actual fucking serviceable like offensive scheme. And lo and behold, he starts performing well. Like I don't like understand why people can't comprehend that like coaching like plays such a bigger role than like it is like widely talked about in the media.
Yeah. Hey, but true as that may be, Daniel Jones is on the Giants, all right, and Jordan Love is on the Packers, who just got Michael Parsons, and they've been like a good, competent team that perform well, even in like probably a top two division in football. Speaking of divisions, can we talk about the NFC West? Do y'all think they're looking good or not? Because I saw a post the other day that was like the NFC West. I think I sent it in the group chat. That was like the NFC West is the best division in football, and I was like, okay, because the Niners are 3-0 right now, right?
Yeah, no, that's actually like some like hot bullshit. I'm sorry. The Niners are not the truth. The Cardinals are certainly not the truth. And like maybe the Seahawks are looking pretty solid, and I like the Rams. I think Sean McVay is always gonna like find a way to prevail, just quite like fucking Mike Tomlin always seems to fucking find a way to a winning record.
Yeah. Rams took my Birds down to the wire. It was looking pretty bad for them. I think I was talking to my dad over the weekend. He was like, "This is a trap game for us," and I was like, "Honestly, the Rams are always a trap game for us, just because like they have like a very competent quarterback. They've got like a great wide receiver. They've got a great running back one. Their defense is like at least competent at worst. So, um, and we were playing like absolute dog shit. So like thank the Lord we lucked out and got a couple blocked field goals. Go Birds. But yeah, I think Rams are easy playoff lock once again. But that's the NFC West. Give me a fucking break, dog. Like we're talking. I don't
Yeah,
believe it.
no, I mean, I'm 100% with you. Like, but bro, you, I mean, I'm used to it by now, but having to see you after being completely MIA in the GC all day, come back and instantly make it about Jalen Hurts was like truly the most Eagles thing I like. Well, not I mean I've seen you do some very Eagles fan esque things, but that was certainly up there.
Hey, I mean, what more can I say? It's everyone. I think the unfortunate truth of the matter is everyone wants an interesting storyline, and the storyline is just he's a top five quarterback, and the Eagles are gonna win the NFC East again, and the Commies are maybe gonna win 9 games. That's just how it is.
All right, well, moving on. I want to talk. Yeah, we. I'm just gonna. I don't want to say anything to that. But I'll quickly let John in the off season declare the Jets as his favorite team in the NFL. And
No. It's more than that. It's
oh,
my team for life.
team
Okay.
for bro, that like those three words like bring a tear to my eye. Um,
Mm.
but as much as I think a lot of us think that John is in for a pretty miserable rest of his life if he's gonna be a Jets fan, I want to hear quickly about the Jets. This what's been going on with them. You know, they lost this week to a nail biter to the Bucks, but yeah, John, just take it away. Give us some talking points on the Jets.
Yeah, I do think, or I guess I should start by saying that earlier today I was having um with one of my close friends, a next level sports analyst, able to name every player in. Uh, and I said, oh, or I made a joke, and even I have to admit it was a joke, saying, oh, the Jets are going to make it to the Super Bowl. Uh, and he said, no, the Jets are going to make it to relocation. And I, dare I say, as much as it pains me to admit it, I would agree. You know, Garrett Wilson put up some great numbers this week, especially on fantasy. Had some great receptions, some great yardage. Um, but at the same point, or at the same time, they just weren't able to close out. They had the lead for most of the game, and then in the fourth quarter, they just choked. And I feel like, this isn't on the roster. Yes, Brees Hall could be putting in more work. But I think the main person that we need to be looking towards uh, is Justin Fields. I think we need to be looking at their QB. And as a Jets fan for life, I hate to say it, but I am not a believer in
Ooh,
the
bad take.
Justin Fields project. Um, and I don't know, he's just not comfortable with his O line. He doesn't spend enough time in the pocket. He'll be taking these risky long throws when the plays that are being drawn up are really meant to either support his running backs or get short yardage. And while I think he has a good, if he had what it takes in the league. And I guess that to add one more piece of that too, the truth is though, even with if Justin Fields is removed, I was looking at the Jets depth chart, and I saw that their second QB is none other, and correct me if my pronunciation is wrong. It is Tyrod Taylor is their second.
Yeah,
Virginia Tech
Uh,
legend.
actually, I learned today, and well, I've been saying Tyrod Taylor my entire life. I don't know if this is gonna be news to you, Brandon, but apparently, and it was a clip of Baker Mayfield when him and I think when they were both on the Browns. I don't know, but he was like he like corrected a like a whatever the fuck a reporter, and was like apparently his name is pronounced Tyrod. Brandon, did you
hmm.
like heard that before?
No, everyone at Virginia Tech calls him Tyrod.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna say like he's been
the news
Tyrod
to
my
me.
entire life, but I was like, oh
That's
word. So some
that's
some some
Tyrod
crazy
for me.
ball knowledge, but yeah, I mean, yeah, go on, John.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even he's second in the depth chart. They don't have anyone past him, and so even if you took Justin Fields off, you're left with this 36-year-old washed up Hokie.
Oh,
who
okay.
just isn't going to be able to perform. And the worst part too is that Tyrod here has been having some not only issues on the field but off the field as well. I don't know if you're aware of this, but he's currently involved in 2 lawsuits. One for medical malpractice and or
He
not
was,
him,
yeah,
obviously.
he
He
was
was not
performing
going.
the
Yeah,
medical
I would be
operation.
shocked if he was performing medical malpractice. But no, he's currently battling the Chargers team's former doctor
Yeah, the lung puncture.
because he used a lung puncture after an injection of the ribs. I'm gonna be completely honest, as somebody who knows what I know about medicine, I literally have no idea how bad. I
Right.
have no
Dude,
idea
Because
how.
it's because the doctor
yes.
went to UVA. You know this?
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it was literally some vendetta ass bullshit because actually, like, truly, I don't remember what the operation was, but like it was some shit where it's like there is no reason in any world his lung should have been punctured.
Yeah, it's truly ridiculous. Everybody knows. Like I don't even know where you put this painkiller injection. If you're doing it on the ribs, like I would assume the only way to puncture would be if he was doing it in like the 4th or 5th intercostal space, where you put in a chest tube. There is no way you should be administered. Uh, so that's one thing he has to fight, but then he's
Oh,
ex-girlfriend claiming trying to get ownership of their previous home because he said he would either gift it to her or sell it to her after their engagement. And so again, I think with these personal battles, I don't think that he's going to be able to perform well, even if he were to replace Justin. Which
Deflecting
kind of
deflecting
asks,
this deflecting this
what?
onto your second string quarterback and acting like it's the problem isn't that your team is ass.
I,
actually, I've never
I
heard someone complain about their second string quarterback more when talking about why their team is dog shit.
all right, okay.
The
I think
QB2 in question is Tyrod.
listen, I think the reason I bring him up is because I think it's important to ask, what's next for the Jets, right? What can they do to really improve their team? And if I was being honest, I don't really know. But I think what's important about being a Jets fan isn't winning, okay? I think it's about losing. It's about staying committed when you lose. So that's why I love the
Most Jets
Jets,
fan thing I've ever heard.
because even when they lose, they're still my champion. And that's all I have to say.
You're a little guy. All right. Well, I appreciate the words of wisdom about the Jets. I think that's where we're gonna end the pod today. I appreciate my co-hosts joining me. I appreciate our special guest. Again, thank you so much for coming on the pod, John.
Mhm.
It's lovely having you.
Anytime. Yes.
Indeed. It was
Yeah.
great.
But other than that, everyone remember to set your lineup for this upcoming week and good luck.
Will.
Will. And good luck in your week 4 matchup.